Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno. How y'all doing? Doing pretty good for Wednesday. Well, I should say pretty good, but we'll talk about that later. Um, I had a very interesting question this afternoon. Will you lose your disability now that your vertigo is controlled, like you've only had one attack in a year? Will you lose your disability? Great question. It was very good. And the answer to that is no, because I still have all the other symptoms. All right. I still have tinnitus. I'm deaf in this ear. I've got right now only 20% hearing, but that hopefully that'll improve. Um, I'm dizzy. Okay. And I'm a fall risk. So the answer to that is no, I won't. Okay. Um, and as long as I continue to keep going to my doctor appointments and having treatments and, what they call treatments or checking in, I'll be fine. I won't lose it. And at my age now, I'll be 60 in September. They kind of don't take it away from you at this point because at this point they realize it's hard for you to find a job. Okay, because literally, it's if you apply for SSDI when you're in your 40s, it's a lot harder than when you apply for it in your 50s. Okay, in your 50s it's a little easier because you're getting close to that age, so they tend to give it to you right away. So in most cases, but no, I won't lose it. Now the only way I really could lose it is if somebody is pissed off that I have disability, which it happens. I've got a family member that's pissed at me for having it. Um, report drop a dime on you, and then they start watching you because they will watch you. Especially if somebody drops a dime. So if I'm outside, just sweeping up the leaves, sweeping leaves, they'll see it. If I'm all of a sudden, oh, I think I'll mow the lawn. I'm having a good day today. They'll see it. Okay. Now, if they see it once, they probably will be like, yeah, it's okay. It's only one time. But they see me doing it two or three times, then it's going to be like, red flag. Um, and I've seen these guys. All right. I've seen these guys. I actually don't know them personally, but I can figure out who they are pretty quick. And this is going back about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. There was a car parked up in front of my house. So I'm like, the guy was here like a couple of times a week. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Now, I'm not outside mowing the lawn. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm like, who is this guy? And in the neighborhood I live in, you really got to know this area because you can't find this place. So finally, after like the fourth time he pulled up, I went out and knocked on his window. I said, can I help you? I said, you're out in front of my house like four times a week. Can I help you with something? And he says, well, I'm watching somebody. I said, who are you watching? Are you a PI? I want to see a badge. I want to see this. I want to see that. Then I look down at the passenger seat and I see it. Social Security, Disability Insurance Officer. So I went, oh, I know what you're doing. I said, are you watching me? And he goes, no, you're fine. He goes, I said, do you know who I am? He goes, oh, yeah, yeah. And he pulled out the file. He goes, yeah, there's your name. I said, why am I on it? He goes, oh, this is just a list. The highlights are the ones we're watching. My neighbor was watched. Um, and he actually lost it because in the summer he's building a pool out in the backyard. The winter he's built the ice skating rink, and this is why they were watching him. He built an ice skating rink. One of the neighbors reported him, and at night because he figured Social Security wouldn't be watching him, he was out there playing hockey with his friends, skating, making a bunch of noise. So that's why they were watching him. They wanted to see what he was doing and doing during the day. And I guess they were watching him at night too. Um, and so that's what happened, and he lost it. But that was something like, you know, you have to want to lose it. I mean, that's just stupid. So I figured it out, and I asked the guy, I said, hey, if you want to come in for a cup of coffee, come on in, I don't care. So he came in, we talked for a little bit. He explained a couple of things to me, like, yeah, just, if you're having a good date, that's great, but don't be, operating machinery. Don't be doing what you used to do. Don't be, doing all this shit. And I said, well, what about fishing? I like to go fishing. He goes, well, all you're doing is sitting there, right? And I went, yeah. He goes, fishing's fine. He goes, they encourage stuff like that because it calms you down. It relaxes you. It helps you with your overall health. And I went, oh, okay. Um, but yeah, he's like, just don't be stupid. And that's it. Just don't be stupid. You won't lose your SSDI. But I mean, and another thing is like, look at today. I mean, I feel okay, but we had weather move in. We had a cold front coming in. This ear's full. I feel kind of like a bobblehead. I kind of slept a lot this afternoon. So, that's telling me that, yeah, all right, I'm getting everything but vertigo. Today's the day to rest. So that's another reason. We don't know, and that's another thing. You don't know when the vertigo's coming back. Um, even after a sac decompression surgery. Now, I didn't have a labradectomy in this ear. I couldn't because I already had one here. I didn't have a labradectomy. I didn't have nerves, VNS surgery, vestibular nerve section. Okay, I didn't have any of that. I had a sac decompression where they shaved down the sac that's like a reservoir in your ear for the epileptic fluid. That's a bone, and the bone can grow back because it's a bone, just like any other bone. You break a bone, it heals. Do you know what I mean? So that can start trying to heal, and then the vertigo might stop back again. So even though I had one attack in a year, it doesn't mean that in 2 years from now that I could be having an attack every 3 times a month. It doesn't mean that. So yeah, they're not going to take it away from me because there's always a chance coming back. You know, um, and let's face it, I'm a liability. If I work anywhere, I'm a liability. I'm a fall risk. You know, I mean, I had drop attack 2 months ago that I'm still healing from. Um, because I strained the ligaments and the tendons in my lower leg into my ankle, and it also screwed up my sciatica. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm in pain right now. But so yeah, I mean, just the fall risk. So yeah, the answer to the question is no, you won't. And the thing is, if you don't want to lose it, then don't do stupid things. Don't go mountain climbing. Don't go skiing. Don't go water skiing. Don't all of a sudden, I'm going to run a marathon or even run a 5K. Walk a 5K. Things like that. Don't show them that you actually can do stuff. And because there's always somebody that's going to drop a dime. Like, don't go around, and that's another thing too. Don't go around bragging that you have SSDI. Now, if somebody asks you, "Oh, what do you do for work?" I'm on disability. That's fine. But there are people out there that actually brag about it. Oh yeah, I do nothing all day. I have Social Security. I could do whatever I want. Blah blah blah. No, don't do that, because somebody's going to get pissed to drop a dime. You know, this person's not really disabled, and then even if you are disabled, now you have to go through all this bullshit. So yeah, don't brag about it either. But the question is, if you have your vertigo under control, will you lose your disability? No. That's the answer. So on that note, I'll talk to you all later. Have a good night.